Hello there, and welcome to The Sleepy Scientist, a quiet space where knowledge flows gently, where science becomes a lullaby for the curious mind. Tonight, we drift inward, away from galaxies and stars into the vastness within you. Because deep inside your mind, a quiet rhythm plays. It is older than thought, older than language, an invisible song made of electrical whispers, guiding your emotions, your focus, your sleep. These are your brain waves, the unseen symphony that orchestrates your every feeling, dream, and breath. Each wave has its own frequency, a speed, a mood, a meaning. Delta waves hum slowly when you rest. Theta waves flutter like twilight between waking and dreaming. Alpha waves shimmer gently when your mind is calm but awake. Beta waves race with thought and energy, and gamma waves sparkle during clarity and insight. Together, they form the electrical landscape of consciousness, the language of your inner universe. Understanding these rhythms is not just a matter of science, it's an act of peace. When you learn how your brain moves through these frequencies, you learn how to move through life itself. From alertness to stillness, from tension to tranquility. So as you listen, let your thoughts slow. Each word will guide you deeper into that quiet place where curiosity meets calm, where the science of your mind becomes a pathway to serenity. Your brain is a living ocean of energy, its surface rippling with constant waves. At any moment, millions of neurons communicate in bursts of electricity, creating rhythmic oscillations that travel across your cortex like invisible tides. Scientists once thought these were random, just background noise, but now we know they carry meaning. They synchronize your senses, emotions, and decisions, weaving together the separate parts of your brain into a unified whole. Like waves on water, these patterns rise and fall, reflecting your thoughts, your mood, and your level of consciousness. Every emotion has a frequency. Every calm moment leaves a soft trace of harmony within this electrical sea. Imagine your brain as an orchestra. Each region plays its own instrument, some steady, some fast, some whispering softly beneath awareness. When they play in balance, you feel peace and clarity. When they clash or race, you feel stress or confusion. Meditation, sleep, and even deep breathing act as the conductor's baton, slowing the tempo, restoring rhythm. Your mind responds to balance instinctively. When its waves synchronize, the world seems quieter, your heart beats slower, and your thoughts begin to glow with calm focus. The slowest and deepest of these rhythms are delta waves. They appear during the deepest stages of sleep, the moments of complete surrender when body and mind repair themselves. Delta waves move between 0.5 and 4 cycles per second, a pace so gentle it mirrors the stillness of the ocean before dawn. During this time, growth hormones are released, tissues heal, and the brain clears away toxins accumulated during waking hours. It is the body's restoration mode, when everything unnecessary fades and your energy quietly renews. To sleep deeply is to let your mind hum with Delta's calm, low vibration, nature's most powerful form of rejuvenation. When your brain dwells in Delta, you are beyond dreams, beyond awareness, a state of pure, restorative silence. Children experience this more often than adults, which is why their sleep is so peaceful and their mornings so full of life. As we grow older, Delta activity fades, but practices like deep sleep, gentle sound therapy, and meditation can invite it back. Even listening to low rhythmic pulses, sounds that mirror delta frequency, can help guide the brain into that tranquil state. To rest is not idleness, it is biological intelligence, the body returning itself to harmony. Above delta lies theta, the bridge between consciousness and the subconscious. Theta waves pulse between 4 and 8 cycles per second, emerging in moments of deep meditation, daydreaming, or just before falling asleep. They are the rhythm of imagination, the frequency where memories drift and creativity awakens. Artists, thinkers, and visionaries often enter theta states unknowingly, as ideas flow effortlessly and time seems to blur. It is the state where the conscious mind loosens its grip and intuition begins to speak, softly but clearly. Theta waves are the twilight of the mind, not awake, not asleep, but hovering between both worlds. In this zone, the brain accesses stored emotions and hidden insights. It's why dreams feel so vivid, why meditation feels timeless. Theta encourages connection between thoughts, between feelings, between self, and the larger mystery of consciousness. You might recognize theta when you stare into a candle flame, lose yourself in music, or wander in thought while watching raindrops fall. It is the mind's gentle whisper, guiding you toward deeper understanding. Alpha waves form the calm surface of wakeful relaxation. When you are peaceful but alert, sitting by a window, breathing slowly, or simply watching clouds drift, your brain hums between 8 and 13 cycles per second. Alpha is the state of balanced awareness, where your senses remain open, but your mind is unburdened. It's the rhythm of flow, of quiet concentration, of effortless focus. Unlike the fast pace of stress or the dullness of fatigue, Alpha represents clarity without tension, a bridge between doing and simply being. When Alpha waves dominate, you feel present, not racing ahead, not caught in memory. Studies show Alpha rhythms increase during mindfulness and nature immersion, when your brain finds order in simplicity. Artists often describe this as being in the zone, where action and awareness merge. In Alpha, your body relaxes, heart rate steadies, and creativity flows naturally. Even gentle sounds like rain or slow ocean waves can nudge your brain toward this pattern. It is the frequency of peace in motion, calm, centered, and deeply alive. As your thoughts begin to wander, another rhythm hums quietly in the background, the beta wave. These faster oscillations, ranging from about 13 to 30 cycles per second, dominate your waking hours. When you are alert, solving problems or navigating the world, beta waves keep you attentive and aware. They are the rhythm of the active mind, keeping your perception sharp and your body ready for movement. Yet, like all fast-moving energies, beta can grow restless. When it becomes too strong, it can edge into tension and anxiety. True calm, therefore, is not the absence of beta, but the gentle balance between focus and ease, the harmony of engagement without strain. When beta waves are in healthy flow, they allow for critical thinking and quick decision-making. They help you read, listen, analyze, and respond. Your conversations, your planning, your moments of clarity all rise from the quiet hum of beta frequencies weaving through your brain, the electrical fabric. But when overstimulated, beta can become a storm, crowding your thoughts with noise and urgency. That's why simple acts like slow breathing, meditation, or looking at natural light help reintroduce alpha rhythms, cooling the storm and restoring the brain's gentle rhythm. At the highest range of mental activity are the gamma waves, the lightning sparks of consciousness. These ultra-fast oscillations between 30 and 100 cycles per second are associated with high-level cognition, insight, and deep compassion. When gamma waves are synchronized, the brain functions as a single unified system. Perception sharpens, understanding deepens. You may have felt this state during moments of sudden realization, when everything seems to connect at once. Gamma is not the rhythm of relaxation, but of illumination. It reveals how clarity and awareness can coexist with serenity when the mind is fully awake but not disturbed. In monks and long-term meditators, researchers have observed unusually high gamma activity, especially during states of loving-kindness meditation. These patterns suggest that compassion and focused awareness are not opposites, but reflections of harmony within the brain. The fast vibrations of gamma knit together the slower waves, creating coherence across regions of thought, memory, and emotion. This blend of speed and synchronization mirrors the dual nature of peace itself, dynamic, alive, yet deeply still. It's a reminder that the human brain, at its calmest, remains a symphony of motion. All brainwaves coexist, shifting and blending like colors in a moving sky. There is no single state of perfection, only balance. During the day, your mind rises through beta and gamma to think and act. In quiet moments, it descends into alpha to relax. As you drift toward sleep, theta and delta emerge to restore and heal. Each transition is natural, cyclical, and deeply human. The health of the brain is not measured by constant stillness, but by its graceful ability to move between frequencies as life requires. The art of peace is, in truth, the art of rhythm. The rhythms of the brain do not operate in isolation. They are influenced by your heart, your breath, and even the world around you. When you breathe slowly, your heart rate steadies, and your nervous system sends signals that encourage alpha and theta activity. When you move into nature, hearing birdsong, feeling wind, or gazing at water, sensory input gently synchronizes your brain to calmer frequencies. The mind and body are not separate instruments. They play the same song, each influencing the other. Peace of mind begins with balance of breath. Brainwaves are also deeply tied to emotion. Anxiety often brings rapid, uneven beta activity, while sadness lowers frequency and narrows attention. But emotions, like waves, are meant to rise and fall. When allowed to move naturally, expressed, understood, released, they resolve into calm. Practices like mindfulness or journaling work because they allow the storm of thought to settle into slower rhythms. Awareness doesn't eliminate emotion. It gives it space to flow without resistance, restoring the mind's electrical harmony. Even memory depends on the coordination of brain waves. During deep sleep, delta waves help transfer short-term memories into long-term storage. Theta rhythms integrate experiences, weaving emotion into understanding. Gamma activity helps bind these patterns into coherent recollections. In this way, each wave plays a role in shaping who you are. The act of remembering, or even dreaming, is the brain replaying its own symphony, converting fragments of experience into continuity. Memory is not just thought, it's music replayed across the frequencies of consciousness. In children, brainwave patterns are slower and more flexible. Their developing minds spend more time in theta and delta states, which nurture creativity, learning, and rest. As we age, our rhythms shift upward, favoring faster frequencies that sustain focus and logic. Yet, when adults meditate or immerse themselves in art, the brain temporarily returns to the slower, imaginative waves of youth. It's as though the mind revisits its original playground, a reminder that creativity is not lost with age, but simply quieted by noise. Peace reawakens the childlike rhythm within. Technology now allows us to measure and even influence brainwaves directly. Through EEG machines, scientists can visualize the flow of electrical activity, turning the invisible into shimmering lines of motion. Neurofeedback techniques use sound or light to guide the brain toward desired frequencies: delta for deep sleep, alpha for calm, theta for creativity. These methods demonstrate how responsive the brain truly is. It listens to its own rhythm and adapts with remarkable speed. With gentle guidance, the mind can learn to balance itself, proof that inner peace is not mystical, but biological. Every thought you've ever had, every dream, emotion, and flash of memory has been carried on the back of a brain wave. These rippling frequencies are not just the background hum of existence, they are the very fabric of consciousness. Your sense of you emerges from their synchronization. When the rhythms align, perception feels whole. When they fracture, the mind feels scattered. This delicate order of oscillation gives rise to focus, joy, and self-awareness. To understand brainwaves is to recognize that consciousness is not a fixed state but a dance of patterns, changing, shifting, flowing, endlessly renewed. In moments of deep relaxation, your brain doesn't fall silent. Instead, it hums in a slower, steadier pattern that mirrors the rhythm of your breathing. This synchrony between breath and brainwave is one of the body's oldest dialogues. As the breath slows, the heart steadies, and neural oscillations descend toward alpha and theta frequencies. Scientists call this coherence, when the body's rhythms align, producing harmony across systems. Coherence feels like peace because it is peace, a measurable, physical alignment of the body and mind into one calm frequency. The world around you constantly shapes your internal rhythms. Natural sounds, rainfall, ocean waves, wind through trees, often match the slower frequencies of alpha and theta waves. This is why they soothe the mind so easily. Artificial noises, by contrast, often trigger faster beta rhythms, increasing alertness or even tension. Environments filled with chaos, flashing lights, and noise push the brain toward agitation. But in nature, the pulse of life runs at a slower beat. Simply stepping outside, listening, and noticing the subtle patterns of sound can help your brain return to its natural rhythm. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to alter brainwave activity consciously. In just a few minutes of focused breathing or mindfulness, the brain shifts from beta to alpha, and eventually to theta. Experienced meditators sometimes generate slow, high-amplitude waves similar to those of deep sleep, while remaining fully awake. This unique state, known as restful alertness, combines clarity and tranquility. It allows the brain to heal while consciousness remains active. Meditation, then, is not escape, it's harmony, a return to the body's native tempo, where awareness and peace exist together. Dreaming, too, is a symphony of shifting waves. During rapid eye movement, REM sleep, when dreams become vivid, theta and beta waves blend in intricate patterns. The brain in this state is both asleep and awake, immersed in its own inner world but pulsing with cognitive activity. The vividness of dreams arises from this mixture of frequencies, the subconscious speaking through the language of oscillation. It's why dreams feel so real, yet dissolve upon waking. The transition between rhythms breaks the continuity, scattering the fragments like mist at sunrise. Music affects brain waves in remarkable ways. Slow tempos with steady rhythms can entrain neural activity, drawing it toward relaxation. This effect, known as brainwave entrainment, occurs when external patterns influence internal ones. It's why lullabies calm infants, why chanting soothes the spirit, and why ambient music can quiet racing thoughts. Sound becomes a tool for sculpting consciousness, aligning perception with pace. In ancient cultures, drumming and chanting served the same purpose, to guide the mind inward through rhythm, back into balance. Every culture that discovered sound also discovered serenity. Even silence holds rhythm. In quiet moments, the brain's natural frequencies emerge without interference, revealing the harmony that exists beneath thought. Silence is not absence, it is presence, the sound of the mind resting. Studies show that brief moments of silence can increase alpha activity and lower stress hormones. It's as if the brain recognizes stillness as nourishment, resetting itself like an instrument, tuning back to its pure tone. The quiet between sounds is as important as the sounds themselves, both in music and in the music of the mind. Light also influences your brain waves. Bright daylight stimulates faster rhythms, keeping you alert and oriented. As evening approaches and light fades, the pineal gland releases melatonin, guiding the brain toward slower, sleep-friendly frequencies. This natural rhythm, known as the circadian cycle, is the planet's way of synchronizing us with its own spin. Artificial light at night, especially the blue glow of screens, disrupts this process, keeping the brain in beta or gamma states long after sunset. Relearning darkness is, in many ways, relearning rest. The brain's rhythms mirror the rhythm of the Earth itself. The planet emits a natural electromagnetic resonance, known as the Schumann resonance, which oscillates around 7.83 Hz, right within the range of theta waves. Though the connection is subtle, some scientists and researchers believe this resonance may play a role in biological synchrony, helping life maintain internal order. Whether through magnetic field, sound, or simple coincidence, we are all participants in a shared universal rhythm, the heartbeat of a planet echoing quietly inside every mind. Every human brain sings the same symphony, but every performance is unique. Your frequencies shift with mood, age, experience, and health. No two brainwave patterns are identical, yet they all obey the same laws of rhythm. Like snowflakes or fingerprints, your mind carries its own pattern of energy, your personal song within the great orchestra of consciousness. And though invisible, it radiates from you constantly, shaping perception, emotion, and connection. You are, in every moment, a melody of light and electricity, a living waveform moving through time. Your brain waves change not only with thought but with touch. When you place your hand on your heart or hold someone's hand, electrical activity subtly shifts. Gentle contact releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and calm, which in turn slows the heart rate and deepens alpha rhythms. The mind recognizes safety through sensation. This is why a hug can ease anxiety and why self-soothing gestures, like resting a palm over the chest, can restore balance. The body speaks its own language of comfort, and the brain responds in kind, lowering its frequency until calm settles like a soft blanket. Patterns of light, color, and movement also shape your neural rhythms. Watching a candle flame flicker or waves rolling onto shore induces rhythmic stimulation that guides the brain toward alpha and theta activity. This is a form of entrainment where external repetition gently steers internal timing. Ancient rituals of gazing into fire or water were not superstition, but intuitive forms of synchronization, ways to bring the mind back into the slow pulse of nature. Even now, the shimmer of firelight or moonlight can quiet the electrical storm of the modern mind. The brain's waves are constantly communicating between regions, connecting perception, memory, and emotion. When you see something beautiful, visual areas spark in fast gamma, then send signals to slower emotional networks in alpha and theta. The harmony between these frequencies allows feeling and understanding to merge. Without this coordination, beauty would not move us and memory would not form meaning. Every emotion you feel, awe, joy, peace, is a chorus of frequencies intertwining. The mind, in its deepest essence, is not divided between logic and feeling, but composed of both in resonance. Emotional healing is also a rhythmic process. When trauma or stress disrupts the flow of the brain's waves, the system can become stuck in patterns of hyper-alertness or numbness. Practices that reintroduce rhythm, breathing, walking, sound therapy, drumming, or even gentle rocking, help restore movement in those frozen frequencies. The nervous system does not heal through force, but through rhythm. When you sway, breathe deeply, or hum softly, your body reminds your brain of safety. And slowly, coherence returns. Healing begins not in words, but in the rhythm beneath them. Brain waves also synchronize between people. When two individuals share a calm conversation, listen to music together, or even sit quietly side by side, their neural rhythms begin to align, a phenomenon known as inter-brain synchrony. It's one reason human connection feels grounding. Our minds literally tune to one another's frequencies. In groups, like choirs, meditation circles, or even audiences in a theater, this shared resonance deepens collective calm. Connection is not just emotional, it is electromagnetic. The peace you feel with others is harmony measured in hertz. Dreaming and imagination share the same neural pathways. When you visualize something vividly, the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the texture of sand, your brain produces patterns similar to actual perception. This is why guided imagery and visualization techniques work so effectively for relaxation. They engage the same waves that appear during deep meditation and REM sleep. The mind cannot fully distinguish between reality and imagination at the level of waves. What you visualize becomes, for that moment, true to your brain. This power of mental imagery is the quiet magic of consciousness itself. Your brain waves also reflect the balance between hemispheres. The left side tends toward analytical and verbal processing, often producing faster frequencies. The right side, associated with intuition and spatial awareness, favors slower, broader oscillations. When the two sides synchronize, communication between them strengthens, creating a state called whole brain coherence. In this condition, creativity and logic unite. Intuition feels sharper, and emotions are easier to navigate. Practices that cross the body's midline, like yoga, tai chi, or slow rhythmic dance, help foster this balance. Through movement, the brain learns harmony. Rest and creativity are deeply intertwined. When the mind quiets, slower waves create space for new connections to form. This is why ideas often arise in the shower, during walks, or just before sleep, moments when beta activity gives way to alpha and theta. The brain requires stillness to integrate complexity. In silence, neurons replay and reorganize experiences, forming new pathways of understanding. Rest, then, is not the opposite of productivity, but its foundation. Your calmest states are also your most fertile. Technology can both disrupt and restore brainwave balance. Constant digital stimulation keeps the mind in high beta, reducing the space for reflection and peace. Yet, those same tools can also guide us back through calming music, binaural beats, or gentle ambient visuals that mimic the frequencies of relaxation. The difference lies in intention. When used mindfully, technology becomes a bridge rather than a barrier, a means of translating rhythm into calm. The future of well-being may not be about abandoning technology, but teaching it to hum in harmony with our biology. Finally, your brain waves remind you that consciousness is never static. Even as you rest, dream, or focus, patterns shift endlessly, responding to thought, emotion, and the world around you. Awareness itself is motion, not something you possess, but something you are. Like tides pulled by unseen forces, your mind ebbs and flows, guided by a rhythm as ancient as the universe. To listen to your brainwaves is to listen to the pulse of life itself, the quiet continuity that unites waking and dreaming, body and spirit, sound and silence. At night, as the world quiets, your brain begins its descent through the spectrum of waves. The shift from wakefulness to slumber follows a delicate choreography. Beta fades to alpha. Alpha dissolves into theta. And finally, delta rises to carry you into deep sleep. Each stage serves a purpose, clearing thoughts, releasing tension, repairing the body. Sleep is not absence, but transformation, a nightly return to equilibrium. Within these transitions, your mind rehearses its ancient rhythm, syncing once again with the slow pulse of the planet and the quiet beat of your own heart. During light sleep, theta waves dominate. This is the space where dreams begin to form, fragile, flickering images stitched from memory and imagination. The boundaries between thought and dream blur, allowing creative associations to bloom. Many inventors, artists, and scientists have credited this state for their greatest insights. It is the mind's twilight, where logic loosens its grip and intuition takes the lead. In theta's gentle hum, the brain becomes a dreamer, rearranging reality into stories that reveal its deeper truths. As sleep deepens, delta waves take over, slowing the tempo of consciousness To its lowest point, the brain now moves like a vast, calm ocean, each wave deliberate and strong. This is the phase when healing occurs. Tissues repair, hormones rebalance, and immune function strengthens. The mind itself is cleansed as cerebrospinal fluid washes through, clearing away waste and restoring clarity for the next day. You awaken refreshed not just because you've rested, but because your brain has renewed itself at the molecular level. In the silence of delta, life begins again. Even while you sleep, your brain waves remain aware of safety. If a sudden sound or light occurs, they instantly shift, a protective reflex millions of years old. This vigilance ensures survival, allowing deep rest without complete vulnerability. Yet, when the environment feels safe, your brain releases its guard, sinking deeper into stillness. This is why peaceful surroundings, consistent bedtime rituals, and soft, predictable sounds all enhance sleep. The brain trusts rhythm. When it feels harmony, it relaxes completely into restoration. Brainwaves also influence the perception of time. In faster states like beta or gamma, moments feel compressed, life moves quickly, and hours vanish in activity. In slower rhythms like alpha and theta, time expands, each second stretching and softening. This is why meditation, nature walks, and calm breathing make minutes feel longer. Your internal clock slows, syncing with the steady flow of consciousness. The ability to control perception of time through rhythm is one of the mind's quiet wonders. By slowing your waves, you extend your awareness, deepening your presence in each passing moment. The patterns of your brain are mirrored by your heartbeat. The two systems constantly communicate, sending electrical and biochemical signals back and forth. When the heart's rhythm steadies, the brain responds with smoother waves. When it races, beta frequencies surge. This connection is so strong that trained individuals can alter brainwave activity by simply focusing on their heartbeat. Meditation on pulse or breath, practiced across cultures, taps into this innate feedback loop. To calm the heart is to calm the mind, and to calm the mind is to calm the world within. Brain waves are also influenced by intention. When you focus your attention on something, a goal, a memory, a sound, the corresponding neural circuits synchronize their firing. The stronger the focus, the more coherent the wave pattern. This is how thought becomes creation, how mere intention shapes perception and behavior. Over time, repeated attention to peace strengthens those neural rhythms until they become the default. In this sense, tranquility is not a temporary state, but a skill cultivated through practice, encoded into the electrical language of the brain. Nutrition, too, plays a subtle role in shaping your brain's rhythms. Nutrients like magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids, and amino acids from protein help stabilize communication between neurons. Caffeine, sugar, and stimulants increase beta activity, sharpening alertness but reducing calm. Herbal teas and foods rich in tryptophan, by contrast, support the slow descent into alpha and theta. Every meal becomes a conversation between body and brain, shaping your mental tempo. The diet of peace is not just about what you eat, but how you eat, slowly, mindfully, in rhythm with gratitude. Even temperature can shift the flow of brainwaves. Warmth increases comfort and relaxation, encouraging alpha rhythms, while coolness, especially at night, promotes the deep sleep cycles of delta. This is why a slightly cooler bedroom enhances rest, and why warm baths before bed ease the transition into slumber. The body's subtle temperature changes serve as cues for the brain, signaling when to awaken and when to rest. In this balance of heat and cool, nature again provides rhythm, a gentle oscillation between energy and surrender. The study of brainwaves has revealed that peace is not an abstraction, it's measurable. When your thoughts calm, your frequencies lower. When your heart softens, your mind synchronizes. Inner tranquility is written in electrical pulses and chemical signals. It is not distant or mystical. It is biological harmony. Every calm breath, every slow heartbeat, every moment of gratitude retunes your neural orchestra. And when the music of your mind finds its natural tempo, you do not have to chase peace. You simply return to what you already are, a living rhythm perfectly in tune with the universe. Your brain waves are deeply connected to emotion, thought, and even your sense of identity. Every time you feel joy, sorrow, excitement, or calm, the electrical patterns within your brain shift accordingly, like a symphony changing tempo. Happiness creates smooth, synchronized waves, especially in the alpha range, while stress and fear produce chaotic bursts in the higher beta frequencies. Emotional balance, therefore, isn't about never feeling distress, but about your brain's ability to return to harmony after disruption. Each return to calm strengthens that rhythm, like a song remembering its melody after a storm. As you drift toward sleep, your brain rehearses this same journey of balance. The gentle interplay between hemispheres, frequencies, and hormones becomes a nightly ritual of renewal. Thoughts fade, replaced by sensations of weightlessness and warmth. Neurons fire in synchronized bursts, creating patterns that resemble distant lightning across a dark sky. This stage of transition is essential. It bridges the waking world and the world of dreams. During it, consciousness lingers between beta and theta, slowly untangling from the day. Here, imagination stirs, preparing to weave its nocturnal stories. It is in this threshold state that many people experience hypnagogic imagery, fleeting visions, sounds, or sensations as the brain drifts from wakefulness to sleep. These moments feel surreal, as though the mind is painting with both logic and dream at once. They occur because the brain's wave activity becomes mixed, fast and slow, conscious and unconscious. Rather than error, this is creativity in motion. The mind begins to free associate, linking fragments of memory and thought into something new. Hypnagogic moments are the birthplaces of dreams, of ideas, and sometimes of art. Artists and musicians often seek to recreate this in-between state during creation. The flow of inspiration mirrors the flow of these mixed frequency patterns, theta inviting emotion, gamma refining structure, alpha maintaining calm focus. When these frequencies align, the brain enters a rare state of effortless concentration known as flow. Time fades, awareness narrows, and thought becomes expression. Flow is not a mood, it is a wave alignment, a biological harmony between action and awareness. The body moves as the mind sings, and creation becomes meditation. Brain waves do not exist in isolation from the body. The gut, often called the second brain, produces neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that influence neural rhythms. A calm digestive system supports slower, smoother frequencies, while discomfort or imbalance can create restlessness, even in the absence of stress. This connection explains why relaxation is holistic. The mind cannot fully rest if the body is uneasy. By nourishing the body and soothing the senses, you provide the foundation upon which mental calm can naturally arise. Peace, in this sense, begins far below thought. Even your posture affects the flow of brain activity. Sitting upright with relaxed shoulders allows oxygen to reach the brain more efficiently, supporting alpha and theta activity. Slouching or tension restricts breathing, pushing the brain toward higher, less restful frequencies. Ancient traditions like yoga recognize this instinctively, the balance between spine, breath, and mind. Modern neuroscience simply affirms it. When your body aligns, your brain follows. The posture of peace is gentle, open, and aware, a physical reflection of inner calm. As you learn about your brain's waves, something remarkable happens. Self-awareness itself changes the pattern. Observing your mind creates a feedback loop where attention reshapes activity. This is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to experience. Each time you practice mindfulness, your brain strengthens pathways associated with calm and reduces those linked to stress. Slowly, your baseline rhythm shifts toward peace. Awareness, then, is not just observation, it's transformation, the conscious reshaping of your own electrical harmony. Across cultures, rituals of rhythm, drumming, chanting, dancing, have long been used to alter consciousness. Modern EEG studies confirm that such activities synchronize brainwaves within groups, inducing collective trance or meditation. In ancient temples, deserts, and forests, people discovered that rhythm could transport them beyond ordinary awareness, long before science named the waves. These traditions remind us that knowledge is not new, it's remembered. Every heartbeat, every drumbeat, is the same pulse echoing through time, from ancestral fires to the quiet of your own breathing tonight. Brainwaves also underlie empathy. When you witness someone's joy or pain, your brain mirrors their patterns through a network of neurons known as mirror cells. These synchronized responses create emotional resonance, the foundation of compassion. It's why kindness feels natural, and cruelty feels discordant. Empathy is not abstract, it's rhythmic. Your mind literally vibrates in harmony with others. When compassion deepens, waves between people align more strongly, bridging separation through shared frequency. Connection, in the most literal sense, is resonance made human. At the highest level of integration, brain waves reveal something profound. You are not separate from your experiences. Thoughts arise, emotions move, sensations ripple. But beneath them all, a constant rhythm persists. This rhythm, steady, enduring, and universal, connects every conscious being. It is the background hum of existence, the quiet song of awareness itself. Whether in the stillness of meditation or the vastness of sleep, that pulse remains, carrying you through every change. To listen to it is to remember who you are, not a thought, not a wave, but the stillness beneath them all. Every wave in your brain is both ancient and new, arising in each moment, yet shaped by billions of years of evolution. Long before words, before thought, before awareness itself, electrical rhythms guided the simplest forms of life, tiny pulses that coordinated movement, feeding, rest. Those primitive oscillations are still within you, refined but unchanged in essence. Every time your neurons fire in sync, you echo that primordial rhythm. In this way, your brain carries the memory of the universe's earliest heartbeat, the pulse of existence itself, beating quietly beneath every thought you have. The architecture of your brain ensures that waves travel with precision and purpose. Electrical signals move along white matter tracks like currents through wires, linking distant regions into one synchronized field. When these signals flow smoothly, perception feels seamless. You experience life as continuous, connected, whole. But when the rhythm falters due to stress or fatigue, experience can fragment. Time feels uneven, thoughts scatter. Restoring flow through rest or breath reestablishes that inner continuity, returning the mind to coherence. It's not that peace must be created, it must simply be remembered. Scientists have discovered that brainwaves act like a language, communicating between networks that perform different functions. Memory, emotion, attention, and imagination all oscillate at distinct frequencies, yet they can phase lock, aligning their timing to share information efficiently. This synchronization is what allows a smell to trigger a memory or a song to stir emotion. Without it, the brain's experiences would remain isolated, like instruments playing without rhythm. The harmony of frequencies turns sensory fragments into consciousness, a single, flowing awareness woven from countless coordinated beats. Rhythm defines perception, even in silence. When you read these words, your brain's oscillations anticipate the next ones, setting a rhythm of expectation and understanding. When that rhythm aligns with meaning, comprehension feels effortless. This phenomenon extends to all experience. The brain constantly predicts, synchronizes, and adjusts its timing to make sense of the world. Even your sense of self depends on rhythm, the continuity of neural oscillations, creating the illusion of I. You are not fixed, but rhythmic, a pattern of perception renewed every millisecond. Brainwaves interact with hormones, shaping both mood and energy. Serotonin enhances alpha and theta rhythms, promoting calm and focus. Dopamine increases beta and gamma, driving motivation and joy. Cortisol, the stress hormone, raises frequency but disrupts synchronization, scattering the mind. When balance returns, through laughter, rest, or kindness, the waves realign, the chemistry settles, and peace resurfaces. Emotion is not separate from biology. It is its rhythm made visible. Happiness is harmony, not accident, a state where chemistry and electricity dance in sync. When scientists measure meditation masters, they find remarkable coherence across their entire brains. Regions that usually operate separately, attention, emotion, self-awareness, begin to oscillate together in rhythm. This state of global synchronization is sometimes described as neural unity, and it corresponds with feelings of vastness, timelessness, and connection. To the meditator, it feels like merging with something greater than the self. To the scientist, it appears as a perfect harmony of waves. Different language, same truth. The boundary between inner and outer dissolves when the mind moves as one. The earth itself has rhythms that resonate with the human brain. The Schumann resonance, the natural electromagnetic pulse of the atmosphere, vibrates near the same frequencies as alpha and theta waves. Though subtle, some studies suggest that our bodies may be tuned to this planetary heartbeat. When people spend time in nature, away from artificial noise and electromagnetic interference, their brain waves tend to slow and synchronize with these natural frequencies. It may be that peace in nature is not just emotional, it's electromagnetic, our brains remembering the rhythm of the world that made them. Brain waves also shift with age, tracing the arc of a human life. In infancy, the brain hums with slow delta and theta rhythms, soaking in sensations like gentle tides. As we grow, faster alpha and beta patterns emerge, sharpening perception and thought. In old age, the waves slow again, returning to spaciousness, a soft echo of childhood calm. This cycle reflects not decline, but completion, the mind's natural rhythm coming full circle. Each stage of life, from curiosity to wisdom, has its own music. To grow older is to move gracefully through changing frequencies of consciousness. Dreams, memories, and even intuition arise from the cooperation between different brainwave bands. During sleep, slow waves carry deep rest, while faster ripples encode memories and insights. These ripples, tiny bursts of beta or gamma activity, appear like lightning over the calm ocean of delta. They help consolidate knowledge, strengthen emotional resilience, and prepare the mind for waking life. When you dream, your brain is not idle. It's sculpting understanding out of experience. Sleep is the mind's quiet work, invisible but essential, as delicate as moonlight shaping the tide. And when you wake each morning, your brain begins again its ascent through the frequencies, from the soft hum of delta to the bright spark of beta. This daily cycle mirrors the rising of the sun, slow and cool at dawn, bright and active by midday, fading gently at night. You live inside a rhythm as natural as breathing, one that connects neurons, hearts, and planets alike. To live well is to live rhythmically, to listen for the subtle pulses that underlie all motion, all thought, all life. Beneath every noise of the day, your brain as quiet waves remind you that peace has never left. It only waits to be felt. Every brainwave carries a story, a tale of thought, memory, and emotion, told in frequencies too delicate for the ear. These invisible rhythms are the poetry of the nervous system, the translation of life into motion. In the quiet of rest, they flow effortlessly, revealing the mind's natural grace. When you begin to observe them not as mechanical signals but as expressions of being, you start to sense their beauty, how they rise, converge, and dissolve like ripples crossing a still lake. Awareness of these rhythms invites a deeper truth. Peace is not found, it's uncovered. It was always moving within you. When people enter states of gratitude or compassion, their brain waves slow and become more synchronized, especially in the frontal regions of the brain. Gratitude, it turns out, is not only emotional but neurological, a rhythm that balances high and low frequencies into a steady resonance. It lowers heart rate, increases alpha activity, and enhances communication between hemispheres. To feel thankful is to bring your mind into alignment with the gentlest possible frequency of existence. Gratitude quiets the noise of thought until what remains is simple: presence, awareness, and warmth. Your mind can learn to shape its own rhythm. With consistent practice, such as deep breathing or focused attention, the brain becomes more flexible, able to shift between frequencies with ease. This adaptability, known as neural flexibility, is one of the hallmarks of mental health. It allows you to move from stress to calm, from focus to rest, without friction. The ability to return to balance is more powerful than avoiding imbalance itself. True resilience is rhythmic, the capacity to flow rather than resist, to bend like water without breaking. Some scientists believe that consciousness itself emerges from the synchronization of brain waves. When distant regions of the brain lock into rhythm, awareness arises, a unification of scattered signals into a single field of experience. In this view, I is not a static entity, but a pattern, a harmony of frequencies sustained moment by moment. When the rhythm fades, consciousness dims, and in deep sleep or anesthesia, it dissolves entirely. The return of rhythm brings the return of self. You are, at the most fundamental level, an oscillation, a pulse of perception suspended between silence and light. The boundaries between individual minds may not be as absolute as we think. When people engage deeply, then in conversation, music, or shared meditation, their brain waves can align in time and frequency. This is called interbrain coherence, and it represents a shared field of understanding. It's why you can feel another's emotion before they speak, or sense the mood of a room instantly. The science of connection shows that empathy is physical, measurable, and rhythmic. To connect deeply is to vibrate in unison, not metaphorically but literally. Sleep scientists have discovered that even in the depths of unconsciousness, the brain continues to communicate with itself through waves. Slow oscillations sweep from front to back, coordinating the repair of neural networks and memory consolidation. During these periods, brief bursts of faster spindles carry messages between hemispheres, ensuring that both sides of the brain awaken balanced and refreshed. The symphony continues even when you cannot hear it, a silent orchestra maintaining order while you rest. Sleep, then, is not withdrawal, but collaboration, the body and mind working together in rhythmic grace. Emotions such as awe and wonder also produce distinct brainwave patterns. When people gaze at something vast, the night sky, an ocean, a mountain, their brain activity slows into alpha and theta ranges while gamma bursts briefly appear in the frontal cortex. This combination creates a state of alert stillness where the mind feels both humbled and expanded. Awe is neurologically a bridge between serenity and awareness, a rare harmony of slow and fast frequencies. It reminds you that peace is not always small or quiet. Sometimes it is vast, luminous, and infinite. The act of listening itself can entrain the brain. When you hear rhythmic sounds, the ticking of a clock, the pulse of distant waves, or the measured cadence of a voice, your brain begins to mirror those patterns. The right tempo can slow respiration, relax muscles, and shift your dominant frequency toward alpha or theta. This is why guided relaxation and narration have such power. They give your brain a rhythm to follow home. Listening becomes an act of alignment, of gentle synchronization with peace itself. Even light sleep, often dismissed as shallow, holds immense value. During these early stages of rest, alpha and theta waves alternate, giving rise to fleeting dreams and flashes of insight. It's during this half-sleep that problems often find solutions and creativity blooms. The relaxed brain no longer overanalyzes, it simply lets associations form freely. Many writers, inventors, and philosophers have relied on this state, hovering between waking and sleep where thought flows like a quiet stream. The brain, unburdened, reveals its natural intelligence when allowed to wander softly. Ultimately, the rhythm of your brain reflects the rhythm of your life. Fast waves mark effort, motion, and achievement. Slow waves mark recovery, reflection, and peace. Neither is superior. They complete each other. The art of balance lies not in choosing one over the other, but in knowing when to shift. Just as day becomes night and tide becomes calm, the mind's music must alternate between crescendo and silence. The universe itself breathes this way: expansion and contraction, sound and stillness. And through your brain's waves, you live within that same cosmic rhythm. Your brain waves are deeply intertwined with the rhythm of your heart, your breath, and even the subtle cadence of your thoughts. When your breathing becomes slow and steady, your brain begins to follow, lowering its frequency until your entire body hums in unison. This natural synchronization is called cardiorespiratory coherence, a state where mind and body align in one harmonious rhythm. It's the physiological foundation of calm, the quiet dialogue between breath and brain. Each inhale lifts you toward alertness. Each exhale carries you deeper into rest, and between them lies balance, the still point of peace. Every living creature shares this neural rhythm, though each dances to a slightly different tempo. Birds, mammals, and even reptiles exhibit oscillations that mirror the same patterns found in human brains. The universality of these waves reveals a profound truth. Rhythm is the language of life. Whether in the beating of a heart, the flicker of neurons, or the pulse of a star, all systems move in waves. To study brain waves is to glimpse the architecture of existence itself, the shared vibration that unites every living thing in one continuous current of energy. The frequencies of your brain not only reflect your state of mind, they also shape it. External patterns of light, sound, or vibration can gently guide the brain into new states through a process called entrainment. When you listen to slow, rhythmic tones, your neurons begin to fire in time with the sound, lowering anxiety and inviting relaxation. Binaural beats, where two slightly different tones play in each ear, can encourage the brain to produce alpha or theta waves naturally. Sound becomes medicine, not through words but through resonance, soothing the nervous system with invisible rhythm. Some of the most profound healing states occur when slow and fast brain waves coexist. In such moments, deep calm merges with heightened awareness. This paradox, stillness within alertness, defines many transcendent experiences. It's the calm clarity of meditation, the flowing focus of art, the timeless peace felt beneath starlight. Neuroscientists call it harmonic coupling, where multiple frequencies synchronize like instruments playing in key. It's a rare but beautiful state where the brain becomes both awake and serene, active yet untroubled, a perfect balance of the human experience. Brainwaves do not only respond to stimuli, they anticipate them. The brain is predictive, always preparing for what comes next. Before a note plays or a word is spoken, your neural oscillations subtly adjust to expect it. This predictive rhythm helps you understand speech, appreciate music, and move gracefully through the world. The entire experience of time, of cause and effect, emerges from this constant forecasting. The brain, in its rhythmic intelligence, does not simply react to the universe, it moves with it, guided by its own internal metronome. In rare moments of transcendence, deep meditation, spiritual awe, or profound love, the boundaries between brainwave frequencies blur completely. The mind enters a unified rhythm where all frequencies align, creating what scientists sometimes call a synchronous burst. Subjectively, it feels like timelessness, a suspension of separation between self and world. This synchronization is often accompanied by a release of serotonin and endorphins, creating sensations of bliss and connection. The body, the brain, and the universe seem to hum together as one. In these fleeting moments, peace ceases to be a concept. It becomes an experience. Your brain is never truly silent, not even in death. Long after heartbeat and breath have ceased, faint waves continue to ripple through the cortex, echoes of life fading into stillness. Some researchers believe these final oscillations may reflect the mind's gradual release, as neural systems disengage one by one. In this way, even the end of consciousness follows rhythm. There is no abrupt stop, only a gentle dimming like the final note of a song lingering in the air. The brain's last act is a wave, a reminder that even endings flow. The brain's rhythms also reveal how deeply rest and awareness are linked. When deprived of sleep, the mind's faster waves become fragmented and attention frays. But once rest returns, slower rhythms restore coherence, rebuilding focus and emotional balance. Sleep and consciousness are not opposites but partners, taking turns shaping understanding. Each relies on the other. Wakefulness gathers experience. Sleep transforms it into meaning. In every cycle of rest and renewal, the brain practices balance, proving again that peace and purpose share the same foundation: rhythm. In children, the dominance of slower waves fosters open imagination and deep emotional connection. They see the world not in fragments, but as a single, living pattern. As adults, faster frequencies often take over, dividing focus and tightening thought. Yet, through stillness, breath, and mindful awareness, we can return to that childlike rhythm, to see again with wonder and softness. To remember that wisdom is not the loss of innocence, but its refinement, the ability to balance curiosity with calm, knowing with feeling, science with silence. The brain's waves prove that consciousness is a continuum, not a switch. There is no line between awake and asleep, aware and unaware, only transitions, soft as light fading through evening clouds. This seamless flow mirrors the unity of existence itself, where nothing truly stops or starts. Each thought is a wave, each emotion a current, and each breath a rhythm linking you to everything that is. When you close your eyes at night and drift into sleep, you're not leaving wakefulness behind. You're joining a deeper frequency, a broader harmony, a quieter truth. When the brain reaches its quietest rhythm, something remarkable happens. Consciousness turns inward and begins to watch itself. This subtle awareness, often felt in deep meditation or before sleep, reveals that you are not the thoughts or emotions you experience, but the silence beneath them. In this state, brain waves become slower, broader, and more coherent, like a great ocean smoothing after a storm. The separation between thinking and being dissolves, and what remains is pure awareness, calm, vast, and infinite, pulsing in harmony with every breath. The language of brain waves is universal, but each mind expresses it differently. Your pattern of oscillations, your personal rhythm, is as unique as a fingerprint. It reflects your experiences, habits, emotions, and even dreams. Scientists can recognize individuals by the signatures of their brain activity, as though the mind itself leaves an invisible melody wherever it moves. You are, quite literally, a song of electricity, one that shifts and changes, yet remains unmistakably yours. Every thought adds a note. Every feeling shapes its tone. At the foundation of all these waves lies a mystery. Where do they come from? How do electrical impulses turn into experience, emotion, awareness? No theory fully explains it. Neuroscience describes the mechanism, but not the essence, the spark that transforms rhythm into life. Perhaps consciousness is not produced by the brain but revealed through it, the way music is revealed by an instrument. The brain is the harp, the body the strings, and the universe the vibration that plays through both. Each wave may be not just signal, but song, existence, expressing itself through form. The harmony of brain waves can be disrupted, yet the system always seeks return. Even after trauma or stress, given time and care, the rhythms begin to reassemble themselves. Healing is not the erasure of pain, but the reorganization of frequency. Every act of rest, kindness, or forgiveness invites your neural music to retune. Slowly, patterns that once felt discordant become smooth again. The beauty of the brain is not its perfection, but its resilience, its ability to find rhythm, no matter how often it's lost. As scientists study brainwaves across species, they discover that rhythm is the thread connecting all minds. Whales communicate through slow oscillations that resonate through miles of ocean. Birds synchronize songs to the vibrations of the air. Even plants exhibit electrical pulses that respond to light and sound. Life at every level vibrates. When you quiet your own mind, you tune into this universal choir, the soft background hum of existence. Peace is not isolation but alignment, the realization that your thoughts and the world's rhythm are one continuous flow. Your brain waves like tides shift with the moon. Studies show subtle correlations between lunar cycles and patterns of sleep and emotion. Though the mechanisms remain uncertain, it's as if the human body still remembers its origins, born of earth and sea, shaped by gravity and light. When the moon waxes, some minds feel restless. When it wanes, calmer. This is not mysticism, but memory, written into biology. You are not separate from the cosmos. Your very cells still listen to its ancient rhythms. When you close your eyes in meditation or rest, the boundary between self and space begins to dissolve. The hum of neurons, the rhythm of the heart, and the pulse of the environment merge into a single vibration. This is the state mystics call unity, but science knows it too. Coherence, synchronization, entrainment. The terminology changes, but the truth remains. The universe and the self are not two. Your brain is not an observer of the cosmos, but a mirror of it. When you find stillness, you're hearing the quiet voice of creation within yourself. As you drift into sleep each night, your brain waves replay fragments of the day, not as memories, but as patterns of energy. In deep rest, they dissolve what is unnecessary, strengthen what is meaningful, and organize chaos into order. Sleep is not escape, but integration, a nightly renewal of mind and spirit. Each morning you awaken not as the same person who went to bed, but as someone subtly rewritten by rhythm, refreshed, rebalanced, reborn. Your dreams are the bridge between what was and what will be, carried gently on the current of brainwaves. The study of brain waves reveals a humbling truth. Peace is not something to be achieved, but something to be allowed. Beneath every storm of thought, beneath every anxiety or distraction, your natural rhythm waits. You do not have to force it, only to stop resisting it. When you let the mind settle, like sand sinking through water, clarity returns by itself. The calm you seek has been humming beneath your awareness all along, soft and steady as a heartbeat. You are not broken, you are rhythmic. Beautifully, perfectly rhythmic. And in the end, as you drift towards sleep, your brain waves slow, merging with the quiet pulse of the universe. The chatter of thought fades, replaced by the simple language of rhythm, breath, heartbeat, stillness. In that moment, you are both vast and small, the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream. The waves of your brain become the waves of the cosmos, and consciousness dissolves into the same deep silence from which it came. Nothing is lost, nothing ends, only rhythm continues, infinite, eternal, and at peace. As our quiet journey through the mind draws to a close, take a gentle breath and feel the rhythm within you. What we call brain waves are not merely electrical pulses or scientific curiosities. They are the living poetry of your consciousness, the music of your existence. Every emotion, every dream, every moment of calm and clarity is carried on these soft frequencies that rise and fall with your breath. They are your connection to life itself, a silent current linking your thoughts, your body, and the world around you. In understanding your brain's rhythms, you begin to understand yourself, the fast waves that guide your focus, the slow ones that cradle your rest. Together, they create balance. Just as the ocean cannot exist without both tide and stillness, your mind cannot thrive without both energy and peace. When you honor these natural patterns, by resting when you are tired, by breathing when you are anxious, by simply pausing to listen, you return to your original state of harmony. Remember that tranquility was never something you had to earn. It was always here, beneath the noise, humming softly in the background of your being. Every calm moment you allow strengthens that rhythm. Every gentle breath brings you closer to your natural frequency of peace. So as you drift now into sleep, let go of thought and follow the rhythm of your mind's ocean. Each wave carries you deeper, softer, slower, until all that remains is silence and stillness. Thank you for joining the Sleepy Scientist tonight. If this quiet exploration brought you peace, consider subscribing for more journeys into the soft side of science, where understanding meets serenity and knowledge becomes rest. Until next time, may your dreams be calm, your thoughts gentle, and your sleep as deep as the rhythm of your own mind. Good night.